Hello, welcome to Stocks Advisor channel. Here at our channel we are looking for interesting buy opportunities for US-based stocks. Today we will talk about AstraZeneca, a company traded at Nasdaq, ticker name AZN. Well, AstraZeneca is of course one of the leading pharmaceutical companies, doesn't need any specific introduction, but today it has dragged a lot of attention from traders because of, unfortunately, some worrying news. It's not really like super negative, but very sensitive for public and actually in the current COVID epidemic crisis. So the news came actually 1 hour almost ago that one of the participants of AstraZeneca vaccine trial for COVID dies, as was reported by Brazilian health officials on Wednesday. But now the question is, well, was this related to the vaccine itself, or was it just because the patient was maybe old or in certain group of very vulnerable patients? It's still a question to be answered, of course, by professionals and officials. And in that sense, since it's only one case, again, the logic says, it's not that severe situation, but again, true is true, reality is reality, but the market reaction is a market reaction, and sometimes it could be overwhelming. And that's exactly what we see today. The price went really ugly down, ugly, of course, relatively for such a company like AstraZeneca. Now we are trading in the range between about current prices 51.90, 91, and actually the day range was from 52.48 till 50.51. So that's quite some range for a company of more than $130 billion capitalization. And now the question is, what's going to happen with AstraZeneca? Is it going to deepen further? Or in general, what we can observe, what we can expect. Therefore, we need to look at the chart analysis and support lines here. In contrary to our usual way to present charts here, we took a 1 year chart scale because we need also to understand the COVID period and previous lows and heights to understand more serious support lines, because as we can see, like, it's not the first time when vaccine discussions for AstraZeneca are kind of controversial, so this could cause some decline, if any, for the company. So let's look first for the general trends. Of course, overall you can see that the price of the company is increasing. If you would kind of imaginally cut out this COVID depth, you can actually assume a linear growth here that was going parallel to the moving average 200. By the way, here is the red line depicting moving average 200, and in general we have three moving averages here depicted. It's moving average 20, 50 and 200 being green, blue and red lines correspondingly. So you can see the price action was going exactly parallel to moving average 200 with elevation. This is kind of a classical parallel movement in upwards channel, and this is usually the case for strongly growing huge companies, as AstraZeneca is one of those. So you can clearly see this was indeed the case, and then we saw this parallel line going like that, so we can call it T1 trend. And then moving average 20, as it also always happens in these cases, worked as additional support here. So we saw that price was actually using it as support, waving here all the way November, December 2020. Then of course the COVID depth took place and then it recovered, so we just take it out imaginarily from our consideration. And then you can say that if you would just cancel out the COVID depth, in general the price was continuing, because to be honest, like, nothing serious happened to the company itself. Its pipeline is okay, no severe news on that part. And therefore you can see moving average, actually trend line 1 was always reconfirmed, like it was, for example, taking place end of May, then all the way in June. Actually all June and July it was just one long reconfirmation, volatiling on the trend 1 line. Then of course, once the news came on some COVID vaccine advancements, the price really went up really high. Again, when we say really high, it's of course relative for the company of this size, went almost 64 plus level, also shooting the price RSI wise quite high. But then again, since none of companies, as also AstraZeneca, are still final with their COVID vaccines, the price went down, then was volatile, and that's actually what happened on some news. It went first further down, then it was trading between actually T1 and T1, let's call it T1 prime. channel, this upwards parallel channel, sorry, the price was again recovering. And usually it happens after first drop, like we saw at the beginning of September here. The price usually recovers and then the major correction takes place. So in that sense, this is a golden rule for corrections for stably growing big companies. And in that sense, it's nothing really, let's say, surprising here. So you cannot say that it's just news that killed the price action. No, it was calling for this healthy correction. So the first break and then recovery and then real correction takes place. With some volatilities, of course, you can see in October, in the middle of October, we saw volatility stepping up. So the price overall was going to correct. And this news, the last candle is just a little bit acceleration, bearish acceleration downwards for healthy correction movement. And without that news, we saw that we here have like 1 and 2 rebounds from the trend 1 prime line. But now because of this news, we pierced it here and we probably are going to actually do a little bit lower movement because of this news just by inertia. But it's not given that we will go really far from T1 prime line. So let's look at the nearest supports here, and that's the one here we can see sitting exactly at 50. And that's where we approximately volatiling today. So the price started actually to bounce from those levels. Then of course we have another very well echeloned support lines here. It's this one and then this one. So in that sense, what we can conclude, although the price action was quite volatile for the company of this size and for this news, but nothing serious happened also price-wise. It's just a healthy correction that was a little bit accelerated with this bad news and the problem which might probably be solved very soon. So having said that, what we can say, let's name the lines. It will be S1, S2 and S3 correspondingly, and therefore we can say that you can actually start buying at S1, vicinity of S1, and then all the way between S2 and S3 would be the second entry, and we always advise to buy with average 1 to 2. And then of course after this healthy correction should end and then we should return. We might form another channel that way, and at that moment then T1 prime line will work here on this segment actually as additional resist. Then we will see if we will pierce it further and continue the trend returning to the channel, or we will form another channel. Because also you can clearly see here formation of downwards trend, and if this would be confirmed, actually we might continue volatiling after rebouncing from either first circle or second circle in this brown channel up and down until the further news will come and the price will decide itself. Most probably it will again go to flat parallel channel, but this will be again news driven at that moment. And of course the one who will win the COVID marathon vaccine wise will have its channel, will has its actually that company will has this channel going higher, and those who will lose of course probably will stay under the same or go for another correction circle. So that's it for AstraZeneca. Nothing serious actually happened. Might be continuation of healthy correction, and then with those circles to enter you can make your game. And good luck with AstraZeneca. If you like our analysis, please also follow our channel, subscribe, and watch another videos where you will see another interesting discussions for US-based stocks.